Peace. I'm back, y'all. Peace and prosperity, and welcome to another live session with ESAIA Mystic. I am a spiritual life coach and dark feminine embodiment mentor. And today we're going to be talking about going back to stripping because it's easy. Okay, and this is a topic that I want to speak on because, again, I've been getting on these coaching sessions with different, women, and some of you have a fear of yourself and uh, something that is blocking you from feeling like you are capable and you are worthy of actually getting what you want out of life. And because of that, you feel like the only way, and this isn't your fault at all, because society has been primed and conditioned to want women to give away their power and want women to lower their standards, to lower their feelings of self-worth, to lower themselves so that they can appease the low vibrations and the low frequencies of the masculine and the low frequencies that govern this matrix, this patriarchy. And so stripping, sex work, going into fields where you are basically, giving yourself away. Greetings, Nephernila. Um, putting yourself in positions where you give your power away and you have no authority, you have no understanding, you have no real definition for yourself of what it means to be in your dark feminine power, what it means to be in your true divine feminine essence. And this causes, this is just the energy that we're dealing with right now in the collective. And I know this feeling very deeply because I've been there, okay? When I was in college, like my early years in college, I gravitated towards doing sex work online because that was what I saw was the easiest way for a woman to come up and get what they wanted, like without having to work and slave. Because I was so used to working stupid long hours at my my college job. Like I had a job in college as a cafeteria lady, and then I moved on to another job working for Smoothie King, making smoothies. And I moved on to another job, which was a little bit of an upgrade. Each job was a little bit of an upgrade where I was getting $1 more than what I was usually getting. But I leveled up to working at Guess, the nice little clothing store where clothes cost a lot of money there. So, well, not really. It's like medium to high prices for clothing. So I was working at Guess and I was still just like, I was having fun, okay? I was having fun doing these different things and working at these different places. But I wanted more. I wanted to feel financially free, and I also wanted to feel feminine in being financially free, meaning I didn't want to make more money and feel more masculine. I didn't want to make more money and be tired and exhausted and, you know, angry, get wrinkles all on my face. Like, I don't want to make more money so I can be less feminine. I wanted to make more money and be more feminine. And I saw that, some of my friends at the time and just people in my, not really too close to me, but I could see them in my energy, right? I could see that these women were making a lot of money being online and doing sex work or stripping or whatever, just being in their feminine energy in general, right? And I talk about this in my book, The Great Woman Resurrected. If you have not read that book, you can purchase it down below. The link is in the description. It's on Amazon, available on Amazon now. And I talk about this story briefly in my book about how that experience was for me, shifting out of making, a little bit of money per hour into, you know, just having money thrown at me for, just showing up, right? And so going through that experience, I noticed how my energy was when I was making a lot of money, and I noticed how my energy was when I wasn't making a lot of money. I noticed the energy dynamics. I noticed the type of, men that I would come in and come out. And again, this was online work that I used to do. And even in the past, like coming online, I had a little bit of anxiety around, like, what, oh my gosh, I'm on YouTube now. Like, I've decided to change my direction. I decided to actually do what I love and what brings me joy and what I know my purpose is. I had a bit of anxiety about, like, oh, who's gonna see me? Somebody's gonna find one of my videos, somebody's gonna find that side of ESAIA, right? And I realized that those voices were not my voices. Those fears and critiques were not my fears and critiques. When I was living that life and in that world and in that realm, I felt like I had nothing else to offer. And this is what really shook me out of that, because I was going to, when I felt like, because it was an on and off thing for me, right? I ended up going into that field. I met a millionaire. I met this millionaire guy who, he had a lot of money, and he like came into my room one day and dropped $1,000 on me. And I was like, he just dropped $1,000 on me just so he could get on the phone with me. So it kind of shook me a little bit, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is new to me. And he went on to tell me, and he was actually a black man, who was online on there being a little perv or whatever. I'm just kidding. But he was on there looking for women to just spend money on and get attention from. And I was like baffled that I actually attracted somebody of that caliber, or I would say somebody who was making that much money and wanted to just give it to, women. Because at that time I was getting advice from, the friends that I knew were on there. I was getting advice from friends who were like, girl, you gotta do X, Y, and Z. You gotta bend over backwards and do all this crazy stuff just to make a couple of $100. And I was like, that sounds like I could have just stayed at Smoothie King. Like, so when I went into it, I knew that I wanted a lot of money from it. I knew that I wanted to receive an abundance. And I ended up attracting this millionaire guy, and he was basically shelling me out thousands of dollars every other week just to talk to him, just to give him attention, just to satiate his loneliness and whatever he was going through, and also, be beautiful and be pretty while doing it. So once that happened, and again, I go through this story way more in detail in my book, The Great Woman Resurrected. Link is below. Once I went through that experience and I came out of it, I realized that, you know, I realized what sexual energy really was to life and people and just in general. Because I was like, how is it that I am like basically just being myself, like, and being in my feminine and relaxing and at ease, and then also setting intention, knowing what I wanted, and going into a space, making it clear that, you know what, I don't think I want to bend over backwards and show my ass and do all this, weird, crazy stuff for a couple of dollars. I don't want to do that anymore. And the moment you set the intention for that, you end up attracting something that also brings you a whole nother lesson, right? And so that other lesson from me attracting this millionaire guy, there was a lot of things about our connection and our relationship that he wasn't aligned with as far as where my soul was traveling, right? So he had a lot of beliefs and he had a lot of things that he, was attached to that I had already elevated from, and it stirred up this, passion in me to be like, no, don't live your life like that. He was sick. I think he had diabetes or something. Goodness gracious. He had diabetes. And I was sitting on the phone. I remember I'd sit on the phone and listen to him tell me about his life and what he was going through. And I could hear in his vibration and in his energy exactly where his illness was coming from. And that was so crazy to me at the time. I didn't know what to do with that. I was at the time like, trying to like give him little hints and like, well, maybe, you should integrate this into your life, or maybe you should do this into your life. And this is the thing. He wasn't on the phone with me for or talking to me so that I could heal him from his diabetes. He was on the phone with me because it satiated whatever discomfort he was feeling in his life. And that was the same thing. That was the same case for every other woman that he was, taking care of and giving a lot of money online. Like, right? So that's when I realized, and that's when I detached myself and I said, you know what? I want to be seen and I want to be heard and I want to be valued, right? For all of me, not just because I want to be seen and I want to be heard for all of me, not just the parts of me that, you know, you want to pay me for or you want to give me money for or whatever. And that was when I saw, right, just a tad bit. I saw that, this isn't for me. But there came a time where I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go back, right? Because I gave it up. I went on my own. I went on my own again. I started, you know, doing other things, and I ended up I was in a, little kitty relationship at the time. I was in a relationship after that with someone new. And he was like the person who let me know that you need to stop. Don't ever work for anybody for less than, 20 something dollars an hour if you are gonna work. He was like, don't ever do that. Like, you need to quit whatever job you have right now. And, I let him know that I wanted to start, like, go back to doing, being online and, you know, doing sex work and stripping or whatever. And he just straight up told me, like, you are too brilliant for that. Like, you are too brilliant to do something like that. Like, there's so many things that you can do and really be your full self in and receive from that. And this guy that I was dating, he was so psychic. Like, it was weird. He was so psychic, it was weird. He like told me that, I think after our first or second date, he was like, yeah, we're not gonna stay together. We're not gonna stay together. You're gonna leave me and go somewhere else. And then he gave me this whole other psychic reading about how I'm supposed to be this really important beacon of light in the world. And, you know, it was just really empowering relationship at the time. And when we did end up going our separate ways, you know, I always remember that. And so now that I'm doing this work, that I am living in my purpose, that I have found completely how to be fully in myself and allow myself to be and flower and know that I'm worthy of being paid in high amounts for that. Know that I'm worthy, and there are people out there that want to give and receive my medicine. Then now I'm like, okay, this is not, you know, this realm of going back into that area of like feeling like you need to sell a part of yourself just to get a piece of change is no longer valid and no longer working, and is going to work in this new timeline of elevation and ascension in humanity. It is no longer going to work. If you are a woman and you know that you have a purpose, you know that you have something that you came here to deliver into this earth, and maybe you don't know exactly what that is just yet, but the passion is there, the spark is there, you will be tempted to do things that are outside of yourself and to go back to that place and go back to that realm of feeling like you need to give a piece of yourself away for a little piece of change, right? Or even if you are making a lot of money as a stripper or doing things, you know, along those lines, you still feel like, okay, like eventually you're going to feel a gap. You're going to feel a gap, and you're going to feel like, you know what? This isn't enough. And I don't know what this not enoughness is, but even if you're not feeling it in your heart, it's going to play out in your relationships. It's going to play out in, you know, your body and your physical well-being. It's going to play out in your life. This dissonance between what you are doing in your lifestyle and what your soul is calling you into becoming, and what your soul is, who your soul is calling you into being. This is, you know, this is what's gonna happen, you know. So don't feel like you have to go back to something just because it was easy, quote unquote easy money, because at the end of the day, out of all of the women who go into stripping and sex work, like, how many of them actually can say that they absolutely love it? It is their dream job. They, you know, this is their purpose. They found their purpose. You know, I found my purpose, and this is what I'd want to do forever. Like, maybe some of you, yeah, of course. But for the majority of you, this is something that, number one, you feel like you can utilize to be in your feminine energy and receive from it. And number two, you feel like this is something that people want. They want my body. They want my sexual energy. This is something that people want and will pay for. But let me tell you, that's like the tip of the icing, right? There's layers to actually being able to be in your feminine energy and receive from that place, from that same sexual energy center, without having to, you know, take all your clothes off and do some stuff that you you know, are convincing yourself that you enjoy, right, for the moment, but it's not something that's prolonging your life. It's not something that's prolonging your uplifting your energy. It's, at the end of the day, it's taking more than it's giving, and it's there for you to learn this lesson. Somebody said, hey, if you're happy and it's what you want to do, go for it, and makes lots of money. Yeah, I mean, like I said, of course, this isn't a message for, you know, women who feel like this is their purpose in life, right? The message here is understand that sexual energy is the basis for all life, and it's the basis for how we receive all of the things that we receive: money, you know, love, intimacy, well-being. It doesn't have to be sexual energy in a strip club. It doesn't have to be sexual energy as a, you know, a sex worker online, or as a whatever you're doing. It doesn't have to be any of that if that's not what you really want for yourself. If you know that you really want more for yourself, then step into that. And see, the thing is, the reason that women have been conditioned, and men have been conditioned to want to just jump into getting that out of women, and also women feeling like that's the only thing that men want from them, it's dumbing down society. It is dumbing down society. It really is. It's dumbing down society because it's not giving women the capacity and the potential to actually activate what they came here to deliver to humanity, to elevate the awareness of humanity. And see, that's the thing. When you get praised for showing, you know, and being in your body, but you don't get praised for the element of intelligence and the element of wisdom and intuition and connection to the feminine being of spirituality that comes with that, then you're doing a disservice to everyone, and nobody's getting the medicine that they're supposed to be getting. And a lot of you ladies, you have the medicine, but you don't feel like, because of that conditioning, you don't feel like, oh, you know, you can step into that and receive. And it's really just all about understanding that when you are completely trusting and knowing that you can be in your feminine and you can receive from this space abundantly, and you can channel that sexual energy into anything that you do, anything that you decide to embody, you can be rich. You are, I mean, the richness is you. You are rich. You just have to know and trust that this is something that is real, right? And you end up wasting it when you just satiate, you know, these lower vibrations of, you know, really it's like predatory energy, because you don't want to be giving into and pouring into predatory stuff. Like, let's be real, like it's kind of predatory, the kind of back and forth nature of you know, women who get into sex work and or who are strippers or whatever, and they're dealing with these men. Like, these men are normally not men who really highly value, you know, women. Like, you know, sometimes they are, but on an energetic scale, on an energetic level, they're not. They're not used to honoring the feminine in a way that connects back to spirituality, that connects back to, you know, ascension and life and the divine. They're not. They're used to the feminine being a way for them to validate their masculinity and fuel their masculine presence in this narcissistic, matrix that they're living in. But that paradigm is over. You guys, I'm telling you, this paradigm is about to be done with. You cannot continue to live in falsehood and promote falsehood to people and have these rates of, suicide, anxiety, disease, and exhaustion and burnout. You can't have all of this stuff going on without change coming very soon. And when it comes, it's going to be like a volcano. It's going to be like a boom. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I don't want you guys to be shocked or not know what to do when this time comes. I want you to be prepared. I want you to be, to know and understand that this change is here for the betterment of everyone. And the change is going to begin with you stop prostituting yourself out and doing what you need to do for $1, right? Doing what you think is the only way that you can get $1. So you give people what they want, right? But what about you? Oh, I sell this because that's what people want. Are you even connected to that thing that you're selling those people? Do you even believe in that thing that you're selling people? Like, people, it's time for y'all people to get out of that mentality of, prostituting themselves in business, right? And it really doesn't matter if you're a stripper or if you're just doing business. You should not be running your business in a sense where you are just giving people what they want and you are ignoring what your soul is wanting to deliver, because you're not doing them any favors. You're really not. You're not doing them any favors by giving them what they want. You're not. That's why people are in the weed industry heavily, because weed is super popular. That's why women are, starting their hair and beauty industry, because it's popular and because that's what they believe that women want, and that's what they believe, and that's not true. It's not because they want it. It's because they feel like they need it to satiate and feel better about themselves and feel appreciated and accepted in the world, right? There's a deeper thing behind all of that. So it's really about you just coming to an understanding that you are enough. Your soul is enough. You don't have to dumb yourself down so that you can get a pretty penny. You want to do that deep dive with yourself. You want to understand what your soul is asking of you to deliver and bring down into this life. That is manifestation. Bringing your soul and the higher realms and bringing that energy back down into the earth, right? That is the path of manifestation. But the only way you can truly and soulfully manifest is if you reach enlightenment. So you can't, not ever visit this place and manifest from there. If you stuck in lower chakras, never rising to enlightenment, then you never reached your own mountaintop. You never reached your own gates of heaven. You don't even know yourself enough that well to be able to deliver that. But when you know and understand the path to your enlightenment, and you have the guts to go on that journey and bring that energy back down into this realm, so that you can call the resources, you can call the money, you can call the relationships, you can call it here. It's all about, are you vibrationally aligned with you, so that you can feel good in that. So if you are interested, again, you guys, I have my free 4-day Lilith Code mini course available now to help women activate their dark feminine energy through understanding their sacred masculine energy that they need to integrate. Okay, this is ego, assertion, expansion and boundaries. All of these things are aspects of sacred masculinity that a lot of women are not integrated in because of this patriarchal system, because of this conditioning. Women are super, disconnected to their feminine energy. And this is the beginning. You want to be able to understand yourself integrated in one with the sacred masculine. You want to understand what that even means. Because a lot of what you end up attracting is a product of you being out of alignment with sacred masculinity and in alignment with predatory masculinity. Okay, so you want to flip the switch on that and integrate yourself back in alignment with the sacred masculine. And that's the beginning, okay? And if you are ready to step into a one-on-one 3-month container with me, ESAIA Mystic, the Lilith code is open right now. And Scorpio season is, well, only a couple days until Scorpio season is over. So if you're interested in signing up and being a part of the Lilith code 3-month one-on-one coaching program with me, we'll do a deep dive into what is blocking your sacral chakra and how to unblock your sacral chakra and get you into magnetizing the life you desire, healing your body, and receiving the money, the resources, and the love from the sacred masculine that you are desiring to experience, okay? And that is, the discount on that is going to be over whenever Scorpio season is over, which will be like the 22nd or the 23rd. I think that's right. So if you're interested in taking advantage of that deal, do it now, okay, before the time is up. And I want to help finally made a live, and I just signed up for the 4-day look. Good. Definitely sign up for that, because that is where you are going to get um drop kicked. No, I'm just kidding. But you're going to get an awakening, a real awakening around when you are aligned with predatory masculinity as a woman. And this is literally why women feel like they need to go back to doing things like stripping or whatever that's out of alignment with them. It's because they're attached to predatory masculine belief systems and energies that have been programmed not just into us, but it's been millennia. This is thousands of years of having to decode and reprogram our energy and our minds into believing who we really are as original women, not product women or products of trauma, products of conditioning. No, original women. Then you know then we'll see then we'll see change, you know so that is super available, and I'm so excited to start the Lilith Code, my one-on-one coaching program, and really get women into aligning with their purpose, receive in abundance, start asking for more in their business, attract the aligned relationships with the divine masculine, and be spoiled, receive in abundance for who you are. You don't have to play any games. You don't have to be, pretend and all of these things. You be who you are. But the key is, who is it that you really are, right? We got to get down to that, because a lot of us are playing out trauma and playing out um you know, brokenness and fear of our feminine energy. I want you to feel comfortable being feminine again, and not just feminine, but in your dark feminine essence. That creative energy and flow and womb of creation that says it's okay for you to get angry. It's okay for you to be mad. It's okay for you to channel and receive messages from the divine and listen to them. But the key is, what do you do with those? What do you do with those emotions? What do you do with those messages? How can you channel that to actually getting what you want, instead of keeping yourself stuck and keeping yourself in, situations that are just playing themselves out over and over, patterns over and over and over. So I'm excited to work with the women that sign up for the Lilith Code and all of that jazz. Sean says, in any household, the woman is the ruler. 99% of men will agree. I know my lady is the ruler of our home. Men go to work and take on a leader role till they get home. Till they get home. Yeah, well, feminine leadership is definitely something that is powerful. And being in feminine leadership means that you are okay with taking a back seat and being submissive, but it also means that you are okay with showing up confidently and setting the tone for how the relationship is flowing and going. And that is feminine leadership. And you literally, this is how you don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. But when you have to believe and feel comfortable in being powerful and being who you are and being a woman. A lot of women are not comfortable being a woman. And that's just the truth. And it's not their fault, It's not their fault. Let's be comfortable being women again. Let's be comfortable being in our true feminine energy again. Brianna says, haha, I'm ready to get drop kicked with the truth. Oh, Sean says, I can listen to you all night. Well, get it in while you can, because I'm definitely not going to be on here all night. Wow, I literally let out my anger and frustration like 3 minutes ago over things repeating itself. I was cussing, screaming, and felt free afterwards. Afterwards, I was like, oh, I needed this. Yeah. Yeah. It's all about allowing yourself. And we don't want to be judged. We don't want people to have something bad to say about us. We don't want, we want to be this perfect good girl, this perfect woman for everyone. But are you being perfect for yourself? Are you allowing yourself to be fully embodied? Right? We are an ebb and flow. That is why women are ruled by the moon. The moon does not, do one thing almost every single day and only depends on like if the clouds are out or not. No, that's what the sun does. The sun is pretty predictable. It does pretty much the same thing every day, give or take if there's some clouds or there's not any clouds. It's gonna shine. It's going to be hot. It's gonna be, give or take what area you or place you are on the planet, but the sun is the sun. But the moon is waxing and it's waning and it's moving and it's flowing. And there's so much about the moon that is so interconnected with women, because our lunar cycles, our monthly cycle is connected to the moon. And deeply, everyone's energy is connected to the moon, but the blood in our body is connected to the moon. This is how deep this gets. So, it's just something as simple as learning what it means to be ebbing and flowing. Like the moon causes us to ebb and flow, and understanding our cycles in relationship to the moon, right? Because there's different periods of your life. Like our bodies are communicating with us in relationship to the cosmos, and especially the moon for women. And so that's another thing that is a part of the Lilith Code one-on-one program, is we're going to be deep diving into the moon and the lunar cycles and your specific lunar cycle, where it's at and how it's tied into the moon, how that relates to what you're experiencing, and understanding what your body is asking of you right now. Because a lot of women think that stuff be wrong with them, like when things happen and things shift and things are, you know, changing in your body. Oh, something's wrong with me. We get scared. You can say this for the bulk of society. Something's wrong with me, and then we get scared. But nothing's wrong with you. You are perfect. Your body is communicating with you. Do you understand what it's saying? That's the question. Are you privy? Are you in touch? Do you understand what it's saying? And that's what we get into in the Lilith Code. And I'm going to be teaching you guys how to understand what your body is communicating to you. It's really easy to understand it, right? And this is the baseline of our intuition. And so from there we get into even more beautiful psychic mystical things that are really going to help you in your business. It's going to help you in your love life. It's going to help you expand and explode in areas of your feminine spirituality and essence that you just most likely have never gotten anywhere else before, because nobody talks about it and nobody, you know. Women's periods, Sean says this is getting a bit beyond him. Oh, well, yeah, this channel is about feminine wisdom and spiritual empowerment, okay? So I give you the spiritual empowerment, but I'm definitely going to let everybody know, you know, because the thing about the masculine is a lot of these things, because women are out of touch with themselves, they have a hard time explaining and embodying themselves with men and respecting their ebb and flow with men. So a lot of men are like, you know, I don't really know, you know, what's going on. I don't really understand her, what's happening. But that is also the beauty, right, of being with a woman. It is not, she's not something that you should be able to understand, something that you can observe and feel really good around and love and be able to feel like you are, you know, worthy, right, of being around such an energy, right, such a high caliber energy that takes you to this whole nother world emotionally. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, so anybody have any questions? If not, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I really enjoyed this live video. I'm making it a point to go live every day, but you know, my human design says I shouldn't make any promises. So I'm not making any promises, but that is my intention, to talk to you guys every day. No set time though, okay? That would just be too much if I had a set time. Sporadic times work really good for me when I'm doing live videos. So yeah, I'm really happy that I got the chance to connect with you all. Again, if you are interested in signing up for the Lilith Code free 4-day mini course, the link to that is in the description. If you are ready to work with me one-on-one and activate your Lilith Code and start magnetizing and healing and receiving in abundance from the masculine, sacred masculine, and the universe, then the link to that is in the description as well. Which movie again? Okay, yeah, we're gonna watch something here in a second. And also, Make sure you visit my online e-commerce spiritual wellness store, tobegreenco.com. I have my 2 zodiac necklaces up on there right now. Those are 14K gold, 18K gold necklaces where you can get any zodiac sign, and those are shipped out from me directly. And I'll have my dragon up necklace up there soon. But yeah, I really appreciate you all, and have a great rest of your night or day, wherever you are in the world. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.